Welcome back to the shop, guys. I was just working on a little video to highlight some of the lighting upgrades the C6 has, and I ran into a little problem. Here, take a look. It's the stock smoked C6 taillights. First off, they're not very bright, which increases the odds that somebody won't see me when I'm stopping until it's too late, and that would suck. And second, these lights are old school, and we just can't have that when the rest of the C6 has modern LED technology deployed, both on the sides of the Corvette and on the front as well. And fortunately for us, our friends at Vette Lights stepped up to sponsor this video, and that's exactly where the contents of this box came from. These are the AlphaRex Pro LED C6 taillights, and it's absolutely refreshing to see how they come packaged. They are very well protected in a box that's proper sized, and it comes complete with foam that's cut just right so that the lights are all safe and sound. This packaging almost eliminates the possibility that the lights arrive damaged. Well, I for one can't wait to get these installed, so let's jump right into it. Using a Torx T15-bit screwdriver, remove the screws from the uppermost exterior part of each lens and set the screws aside. Then simply just push up and pull out on the lens and it'll pop out. And don't be surprised if it's pretty filthy, especially if it's been a while since it's been removed. Then go ahead and twist the light bulb holder about 1/8 of a turn counterclockwise, and we'll just set the light bulb inside for safekeeping. And we'll repeat the same process on the other light. Upon taking a peek inside, I did notice that my ground strap was kind of corroded and looked nasty, so I took this opportunity to remove it, clean everything with a wire brush, put a dab of grease on it, and reconnect it. The kit includes 4 of these resistors, and they're gonna need to be installed next, but beware, they do get pretty hot, especially if you were to turn on the C6's 4-way hazards and leave them on for an extended period. With that in mind, I am going to be a little cautious with how I mount the resistors so that I minimize the amount of heat being transferred to the C6's body. And to do that, I'm going to go ahead and make a very simple but effective sheet metal bracket that's designed to isolate and dissipate the heat from the resistor. Let me show you right quick how I made this one. Starting off with a piece of scrap metal, go ahead and mark 2 inches by 7 inches, and then using a regular tin snips, go ahead and cut the shape out. Mark the following lines as shown. These are going to be where we make our bends. Mount the piece of metal in a regular bench vise and proceed to make 2 90-degree bends in the bottom of the bracket. Then go ahead and flip it over 180 degrees and make the same 2 series of bends in the top of the bracket. And this is what our simple U-channel mount should look like. Next, we're going to go ahead and drill a series of holes in each end of the bracket. These are going to help greatly reduce the amount of heat transfer from the face that the resistors are mounted on to the face that'll be attached to the Corvette's body. And this is what the bracket looks like with those series of holes drilled. Next, I like to go ahead and open up the holes in the resistor a little bit and then lay them out on the bracket we just made and mark the first hole in each resistor, and just go ahead and drill out one of the holes for now. Attach the resistor with one of the screws, and then using the resistor as a guide, drill the second hole. Now when attaching the resistor to the bracket, I like to add a washer behind the resistor on each screw. This adds for a little bit more of an air gap to reduce the thermal conductivity of the resistor to the bracket. Finally, we just need to drill one more hole on the right side of the top and the bottom of the bracket. And here's the finished product. I intend to install the resistor pack right behind the taillights on the trunk tub, and since we never drill blindly into an automotive panel, I pulled the carpet back, and as you can see, as long as we stay to the right of that stud in the middle, we'll be golden. Now it's just a matter of getting the bracket where we want it, drilling an 1/8-inch hole. Now we can remove the tape that we don't need anymore, install the top screw, then we can drill the bottom hole, and then one more screw, and it's in. And let's just take a quick peek to make sure our screw ended up where it was supposed to, and it did. Before we actually swap in the new lights, let's just do a quick side-by-side comparison of the old versus the new. And looking at the old ones, they are super lightweight. The minimal design probably cost GM about $3 a piece. They're that simple. By contrast, the AlphaRex, it's a heavy piece, a lot more complex with a sequential function. It's got 4 vents. There's a switch on the back that you can turn on or off the sequential function. We'll get into that in a little bit. But all in all, to me, it appears like this AlphaRex light is very well designed and very well built. So, time to put them in. Simply remove the bulb from the socket and then go ahead and attach the lead from the AlphaRex assembly to the same socket, and then gently twist the socket into the light assembly. Then simply attach the lead from the resistor pack to the lead on the AlphaRex unit and slide the whole light assembly back into the C6 body just like the stock unit. Then we'll rinse and repeat for the neighboring light, and when both lights are back in place, reinstall the single screw per light. Now keep in mind guys, this is just the way that I prefer to install LED taillights that have external resistors, and there's certainly other ways that'll work just fine. Now let's take a quick peek at the stock versus the AlphaRex taillights, with the AlphaRex being in sequential mode. Now I don't know about you, but in my mind anyway, not only are the AlphaRex lights much brighter, but they also give the C6 a much more modern look, kind of like it was still being manufactured today. Now let's take a look at the AlphaRex lights in sequential mode versus in regular mode, and this is what that little switch is for on the back of the lights. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the sequential mode, but hey, to each their own. Let us know in the comments below which mode you prefer. So guys, not only are the AlphaRex taillights a major improvement when they're on, but they're absolutely beautiful when they're off as well. If you're interested in a set, I'll be sure to leave a link in the description below, and it'll also include a 10% off Toys for Life discount code that'll be active for a limited time. And now I can finally get back to finishing that C6 exterior lighting video I was working on, and here it is.